tax revenue collecting is one of the fundamental pillars that holds a country down, okay? And today we are going to discuss about the tax revenue collection from African countries from 2023 to 2024 by African Fact Zone, okay? My name is Vidashi Essay, and let's go through. Let's go. All right, so African Fact Zone from X shared a post that says African countries tax revenue for 2023 to 2024, okay? So number one, we have South Africa having 115.24 billion US dollars. The population of South Africa is 62 million. Okay. Number two, Morocco with 27.2 billion US dollars. Population is 38 million. Number three is Egypt with 25.17 billion US dollars. Population is 108 million. Number four, Nigeria with 12.37 billion US dollars. Population is 221 million. And then number five, Ethiopia with 9.35 billion US dollars. Population is 123 million people. Okay, 123 million people. So there you have it. These are Africa's countries with the highest tax revenue from 2023 to 2025. Okay, but I hope you are seeing something here. Every country has its population with them. So we see South Africa with just 62 million people and paying tax about 100 billion plus actually, 115 billion US dollars. It's insane. How do they do it? How come 62 million people pays 115 billion US dollars? How? And you have country like Egypt having 108 million people paying 25 billion US dollars, and Nigeria with 221 million people paying only 12 billion US dollars. How is that even possible? How do South Africa, you guys do this? How is your tax system working? This, I don't know, it's good and it's also bad at the same time. It's good that your country revenue or you people are actually paying taxes. That shows how your economy and how advanced your country will grow and how things will be done in your country. That's how your country is actually grown and it has a lot of things that is highly developed than a lot of African countries. But how does 60 million people pay 115 billion US dollars? That means your tax issues is crazy. How do you guys even live? How much do you guys even make in a month that you guys have to pay? It has huge taxes. Oh, crap. For Nigeria, 200 million people also paying 12 billion US dollars. That is pretty low. How? All right, so there you have it. SA leading actually with 115 billion US dollars with just 62 million people. There you have it, okay? But as this post was shared, people started talking, okay? Because it's actually worrying seeing 62 million people paying these huge taxes and 221 million people paying that taxes. We really had to know what people think about this. So under the comment section, I dive inside to know what is actually people think about this whole issue before I share my opinion, okay? So I went in there and I found this first comment. This is from Avocado. She says, Nigeria is the only country that doesn't milk its citizens with overwhelming taxes. Unlike other countries where their citizens are landed with bills, you should visit Nigeria. All right, so this is what the person is saying. He's saying Nigerian economy or Nigerian government is not actually milking the people of Nigeria for overwhelming taxes, okay? So it's fun and it's cool to visit Nigeria. But I actually don't agree with this comment because if your country doesn't really mobilize enough taxes, how will the country improve and develop? Okay, we all know how dense and populous Nigeria is with about 200 million people, and if your country is able to just have a tax revenue for in a year with just 12 billion US dollars, then the country is actually going to lag behind from a lot of things. Okay, how you guys going to go by with the daily activities, or how you guys are even going to run the economy? Although Nigeria may have a lot of natural resources with the oil, but coming to think of it, personally Nigerian, you know how your government has used most of your raw materials or natural materials for loans. So actually, the country is not actually earning much from these kind of things, okay? All these natural products. So if the country is also in running low in mobilizing taxes or revenue for the country, it's pretty bad. How would the country even be run? Would the country be run on loans? Should Nigeria always be running on loans? It's actually not that good for the Nigerian economy to really that kind of population, and that is their tax revenue for a year. It's really not good. So how can we really ask for let's say huge or much development for the government if this is the taxes you guys actually can't get from the people? Although I haven't even talked about how much the government embezzles, or due to corruption you guys lose a lot of money, and if this is how much you are making in a year, and check about how much you lose in corruption, how much do you think it will left for you guys for development for the country to be actually developed? This is something alarming that we really need to talk about, okay? So my Nigerian friend out there, it's not actually good for a country as Nigeria to be mobilizing these taxes. It's really not good, okay? It's not cool, okay? All right, so this person also came in and says, Nigeria made 12 billion from tax revenue and lost 30 billion through corruption. Nah, man, how are they running the country? Well, this is actually a Ghanaian though. Man is actually a Ghanaian, but it's so funny too. Man is saying that a country of 200 million people mobilizing a tax of about 12 billion US dollars, and they are actually losing about 30 billion for corruption. How is the country being run? This is really funny though. Because how is Nigeria being run? If you guys actually mobilize this amount and lose that amount for corruption, how will a country ever be developed? This is concerning. So if you are Nigerian, ask yourself why Nigeria actually behind like that. Although Nigeria is actually developed, okay, but per the calculation and per the population and how the country is actually well known around the world with its beautiful cultural and its beautiful vibe and its musical industry and entertainment industry, and this country actually mobilized just $12 million for through tax revenue and actually lose about 30 billion for corruption and all sorts of things. How would the country ever be developed? Okay, so this is actually concerning. But as you know, Ghanaians and Banta, they will actually banter with Nigeria with almost everything. But it's actually concerning here. Nigeria should actually do better. All right, let's continue. This person also came in and says, Kenya has not made it in the list despite all the taxes. Well, my Kenyan brother is actually insane how much taxes Kenya is actually paying these days. The new government has actually introduced a whole lot of taxation systems that Kenyans are actually doing. So it's baffling my brother how and why Kenya are not part of the list. But actually, it's top 5, okay? So maybe to top 10 or top 20, Kenya will actually find its way there. And also Ghana too. Ghana too have been introducing a whole new taxes and we are still not here. That means we are not really paying a lot still, okay? And the government will not sleep until we pay so much too. So my Kenyan brother, don't worry. I'm sure you guys are somewhere down there, okay? Don't worry about it. Lastly, this guy also came in and says, this is why South Africa has free education and other basic human rights needs. We pay too much tax. Well, that is true. South Africa has a lot of free things. They actually, if accidents happen in South Africa, the government actually look or take care of the accident people through the tax that they pay on their fuel. That's why South Africa have highest fuels in Africa. And South Africa also pays a lot of things. So they have free healthcare and a lot of things too. So actually, this one is saying that we have free education in South Africa and a lot of things here because we pay way too much. Yeah, it seems that South Africa actually owns their own country. They actually take care of their country. And even the debts in South Africa are actually 80% owned by themselves. South Africa is really one crazy African country that we should really look up to. Okay, these people are actually doing well. But as I said, 62 million people paying about 100 and something billion US dollars in taxes is pretty cool, but it's also not that cool. It means how huge South Africans are actually suffering, okay? There's too much taxes. They need to really work so much and have a few because the government will take a lot from them. Okay, but as I said, we hope the parties or the government will actually take good use of the taxpayers' money and actually work for the people of South Africa. Okay, that's why South Africa looks like Europe because it's one of the beautiful countries in Africa. Kudos to you guys. You guys actually deserve that, and you guys are actually paying for that also. All right, that's why you guys are actually having a lot of things that a lot of African countries don't have. Okay, so big guys to shout out South Africa and big guys to other countries that made up to that list. And also, we hope African countries and African government will also work hard to mobilize their taxes from their citizens to actually provide good initiatives for these people. But most importantly, they should actually make use of the taxes they are collecting. That is way most important than anything here. You will take the money, but actually make it count. All right. One is what I share say, and this has been entertainment news in a bit. And I was all here to share with you guys Africa's tax revenue from the 2023 to 2024 in Africa. All right. So here are the countries. So number one is South Africa having 115.24 billion US dollars with a population of 62 million people. Number two, Morocco with 27.2 billion US dollars with a population of 38 million. Wow. Morocco 1 2 is impressive here. Wow. Number three is Egypt with 25 billion US dollars and population of 108 million people. Nigeria with 12 billion US dollars with population of 221 million people. And then number five, Ethiopia with 9.35 billion US dollars with a population of 123, which is 123 million people. Okay. So many of that share say, and there you have it, Africa's highest revenue collection in 2024-2023. See you guys around.